What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about Firewall Dragon in this video and what the world of Yu-Gi-Oh would be like without it. If it just wasn't in our game, if Konami and the TCG finally stepped up, they showed that they have some balls and they actually decided to, ban the card, make the card forbidden in tournament play, what the game would actually look like. Because, I'm one of those people where I've actually kind of resisted the idea of Firewall Dragon being banned. Not because the card doesn't deserve it. By far, when it comes to Link Monsters, I think that it actually just deserves to be axed. And honestly, you can make an argument that it is the single most problematic card in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. Maybe you could say Soul Charge or I Sold, kind of on the down low, but I think Firewall Dragon will be the card that most people pick. But the obvious reason why I've kind of resisted it is because it's kind of the cover card of the Vrains era. Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, the anime series, the current anime series, the main character Yusaku, it is his ace monster, and it would just kind of be a bad look to have his ace monster banned, because those new players who are coming into the game, especially the younger ones, the Dragon Duelers out there, they may watch the show, see a couple of episodes. Firewall Dragon is probably going to be one of the cards that they end up seeing him summon, and they're going to get interested through that duel. Then they're going to go to, their tournament or whatever. They're going to find out, oh, I can't even play this card that kind of got me into the game in the first place. Here's the thing though, and this is where my stance has kind of changed. I actually do believe that it is a slim possibility that Firewall Dragon could actually get banned in the TCG, and it's because in the OCG, obviously the anime is a significantly bigger deal, and I don't just mean Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains the anime, I mean just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime in general. In the Asian regions, not only does it get better ratings, but it also comes on in prime time, which that's actually just a thing that they do in anime in general, in like Japan and other Asian places like Korea and China and so on and so forth. There are so many different products that you can get over there that are related to like the anime. I even talked about it on my channel one time, how there are like restaurants and convenience stores that will offer snack items like juices and desserts that are actually designed after characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, and they'll do that for like a couple of weeks out of the year, which I think is just it's freaking crazy. I wish that they would do something like that in the United States, but I digress. I'm getting a little off topic. I'm basically just proving how much more important the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is in Japan and really in the Asian markets, as opposed to kind of the rest of the world and where the TCG is, Latin America, Europe, and North America and whatnot. Hell, sometimes they don't even finish the dubs of the animes. I'm looking at Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4, and what was it, 5D Season 4? Those seasons never actually got dubbed, and you had to watch them subbed if you wanted to get the full storyline. So I feel like there may be a teeny bit of leeway for Firewall Dragon actually to get axed in the TCG, because I don't know, sometimes the ban list is a little quirky, but I do believe that Konami R&D, Jerome McHale, Michael Conahim, Robert Bajan, sometimes I do think that they just look at certain cards and they fully know that Firewall Dragon is broken. But one of the reasons that I'm bringing up the possibility of Firewall being banned is because obviously there should be a new ban list right around the corner. But also, I don't think that I can think of many other times where so much of the game's degeneracy, so much of what is just kind of wrong with the format and what people don't actually like about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now is really derived from one single card. In fact, the only other examples that I can think of is maybe during Zexal, if you guys remember, right when Soul Charge was released and the card not was limited, it was at 3, and that just, it warped the entire game. Seriously, it was like Monster Reborn on crack. We know how powerful Soul Charge is, and it was such a devastating card. It completely changed the tiers of so many decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where there were a lot of like tier 2.5s like Infernity, which it ended up winning Worlds because Soul Charge was at 3, Mythic Rulers, Sylvan, those decks were like tier 2.5, and they all jumped like a tier and a half to tier 1 just because of the release of Soul Charge. And then the other example would be back in 5Ds, which some people might not even remember this because maybe they weren't playing the game then. when Dark Strike Fighter was released, and that card was banned after one format. It was so powerful, it kind of skewed the format to where you no longer had to do 8,000 battle damage to do an OTK. In that specific format, when Dark Strike Fighter was released, you only had to do about 4,000 damage, and you would just throw all your monsters at your opponent, and you'd actually just burn them to death, and it was near unstoppable. If your opponent didn't have Effect Veiler, that was pretty much it. I actually might do a whole Yu-Gi-Oh story on Dark Strike Fighter, because I feel like that card was just so absurd. But I feel like right now, if you look at Firewall Dragon, it's pretty much having the same exact effect on the game. Like, let's just say the next ban list, they didn't change anything. All they did was just ban Firewall. Even though that, you know, most people would look at that ban list a little cross-eyed, I kind of feel like that would address so many problems in the game. Number one, it would not be completely removed from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm pretty sure that people would still find ways to do it, but extra linking would take a significant hit. If you've ever watched this channel before, you guys know how I feel about extra linking. I feel like it shouldn't be in the game. I think that it is your fundamental right to spam a bunch of link monsters on the field. But when you extra link me, it's different, because then I kind of feel like I even lose my right to summon any extra deck monsters on the field. And the way that Konami initially kind of, you know, sold us the extra monster zone is that there were two of them, and one player got one, the other was going to be used by the other player. Extra linking just throws that completely out of the window, and it honestly just, like, the entire system crumbles because of the extra link. But Firewall Dragon, as you know, is generally a card that will always appear in an extra link combo. I feel like if you take Firewall Dragon out, then so many of the decks right now that are kind of just go first, oh, you don't have a hand trap, you didn't open with Ring Dragon or Raw Spear mode, I guess the duel is pretty much just concluded. Let's go to game 2, go next, you know what I mean? If you're playing against Goki, or you're playing against Spiral, ABC, those are all decks that can, like, extra link pretty easily. Like, they probably wouldn't have that ability to do that anymore, and I feel like that would just be excellent for the game. Even if you did extra link, I feel like it would probably be something where it maybe took all 5 of your cards and would be incredibly situational. Not a situation like Goki right now where it's like, no, we only need 2 cards to extra link, and it's not situational. It's like we designed this deck for every opening hand to be able to get to that point where we extra link. So I feel like if you take Firewall out, it kind of addresses that problem. Maybe I might have to talk about Nightmare Goblin a little bit later, not in this video, but I feel like if you take out Firewall Dragon, I kind of feel like a lot of these decks that people just loathe playing against, they say, all right, let's just compare the opening hands, see how this is going to play out. We don't actually need to do any dueling. I feel like a lot of that just goes out the window. You also have some other just dirty kind of degenerate plays that would also be eliminated immediately. One of them would be the Trickstar kind of OTK with Lily Bell and Lycoris, where you make the Firewall Dragon, you summon your Lily Bell, you attack your opponent directly, you get your Lycoris. I believe you end up crashing it into Firewall Dragon, then you get your Lily Bell, you special summon it, and then you special summon it off Firewall Dragon, attack directly, and you just kind of end up doing the same thing over and over and over again. Your opponent ends up taking more damage than you in that whole exchange. It actually is very similar to the old school, like, Colossal Armory Arm FT, well, not, it wasn't FTK, but OTK back during the 5Ds days. Very similar concept. And really, when you look at Firewall Dragon in Trickstar, like, what purpose does that card even serve other than that OTK? Like, I feel like Firewall Dragon has, the only reason it has a spot in that deck, like, it's not a utility card at all. The only thing it does is facilitate that specific degenerate play. I also wonder, and I haven't really done, like, there hasn't been enough real life testing because one of the cards we just don't have access to. The other card was just recently legalized, so we don't really have any big tournament results, but there are also a couple of other cards that I've talked about maybe they could end up getting banned by the end of this era, and I kind of feel like if you took Firewall Dragon out, that maybe these cards wouldn't even really be ban worthy, or at least we could probably tolerate them. Those 2 cards would be Summon Sorceress and Crystron Needle Fiber. Maybe you could even throw in Galaxy Tomahawk in that mix, number 42, because that card is one that massively produces tokens. I guess hypothetically you could still do some nightmare plays, but usually people go for Firewall Dragon and then it's pretty much on to the races. But I know for a fact that Needle Fiber obviously allows for a whole lot of shenanigans. Same thing with Summon Sorcerers, but you see, like, I don't know if you guys watch a lot of duels as I do, but a lot of times what I'll see is kind of the same opening play. It's somebody getting the Needle Fiber, they'll summon back a Phantom Beast or Lion, then they'll turn those two into a summon sorceress. But what if you actually took Firewall Dragon out? Would Needle Fiber still be a ban-worthy card? Because I kind of feel like it wouldn't be. And I actually believe, even with us not having Needle Fiber in the game, that's, I mean, based on what we've seen in the OCG and based on what people have seen just experimenting in the lab, Needle Fiber is ridiculous. But without Firewall Dragon and the ability to extra link, what does Needle Fiber do that's so absurd that we just have to take it out of the game? So I feel like Firewall Dragon being banned could actually just save a whole bunch of collateral damage, because I do think there is a possibility for those three cards to actually get banned if Konami never actually bans Firewall Dragon. So I guess the core central theme of this video is, when you look at Yu-Gi-Oh right now, right? You look at the hyper spam decks like Goki and Spiral, and you look at extra linking and the OTKs of Trickstar, and a lot of what people don't enjoy about this format particularly, doesn't it all boil down, I think, mainly to one specific card? And if you take that one card out of the game, I feel like a lot of the problems would be solved. I mean, don't get me wrong, there would still be some other things, like maybe you could probably hit Hornet Drones and Trickstar Reincarnation or some other stuff, but I feel like most of the problems in Yu-Gi-Oh right now are strictly based on Firewall Dragon, and the biggest one, which is break my board extra linking. If you guys watch Worlds, that's literally all it's going to be. Whoever goes first with Goki, show your opponent your hand. If they don't have a hand trap or raw spear mode, go to the next game, unless you plan on misplaying, because that's what Worlds is going to be. And I don't think it's going to be very enjoyable. I think getting Firewall out of the game could completely change that. But honestly, at this point, it is just wishful thinking. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that Konami will turn that into a reality. And I think that the game of Yu-Gi-Oh could get significantly better with just one card, you know, kind of falling on the sword. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, thank you. Over the last couple of days, I've posted videos with paid sponsorships, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get a whole bunch of backlash. People are going to be like, oh, Cap G's selling out. Oh, man, we got to waste 30 seconds watching this ad. I'm going to dislike the video. And actually, I really haven't had any negative reception to that at all, which is good, because those promotions definitely, like, they're lucrative, and they help me keep the lights on in this channel. So I'm going to actively be reaching out to companies and seeing if I can do a whole lot more. And I've got some ambitious projects for the coming weeks that hopefully you guys will enjoy. They'll be uploaded. I'm going to start the first one on Saturday. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.